you stand a chance, guys. You stand a chance to win 1 million Ugandan shillings. Come on, I mean, who would like that? I mean,
300.
yeah, yes, please. Well, how is it going to help them? Well, for starters, let me talk about the ATA platform. Yeah, for all pool enthusiasts. Yeah, I'm very privileged to introduce to you ATA. It has a website. This website is www.atasportslive.com. Well, all you need to do is subscribe, have an account, and you'll have exclusive content. Yeah, to all a variety of sports. Yeah, we are starting with pool. You mentioned pool, but let me just add something small. Actually, it's not only going to be about pool. Yeah, expect a variety of sports. Yeah, things like boxing. Yeah, things like a lot of other things. Yeah, athletics. All amazing content coming your way. Yeah. Yes, please. Well, all you need to do is uh, Google. All you need to do is Google www.atasportslive.com, and we call it a landing page. Yeah, you'll have a variety of options. It's very user friendly. The website is very user friendly. All you need to do is subscribe. Then on subscribing, you also register to have an account. When you have an account, yeah, it's very easy. Down all you need to do all you need to do is uh, $1.5, which is equivalent to about 5,000 yes, in Ugandan shillings. Yes, for Ugandans here it's about 5,000, 5,000 something, and a few points within. Now for those across abroad, yeah, it's just 1.5. Exactly, yeah. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, it's just that. And by subscribing, well, this subscription, while subscribing, it gives you a variety of payment options. Yeah, you can choose to use a Visa card. You can choose to use things like mobile money. Yeah, for Kenyans, you have what? You have M-Pesa. Yes. Yes, yes. Well, tell me, how easy is that? And by subscribing, trust me, you have a lot of content at your disposal. And you have an exclusive chance to have a live coverage, yeah, at your disposal of these matches that are happening today. I'm very excited. Yeah, very excited. Yes.
I think a final word is to say that, guys, especially the athletes, please embrace ATA because it is coming to promote you to the sports in Africa. Today we're starting with pool, but we're also going to come, as he has told you, boxing and other games. So all athletes should be basketball. All those games are coming. So everyone should be happy and excited about the opportunities that ATA is bringing. Yeah, thank you so much. One thing,
One thing, guys, don't forget to subscribe. Yeah, subscribe and have your accounts available. It will be very. You have a lot of content at your disposal. Yeah. Thank you, guys. Yeah.
check. Error. It's now 1-2. Go to 2, then if it's ready, yeah, if it's ready. There you go. Why can't you pass? Now we go back, yeah? Okay, now it's live. A second.
A very good evening, Africa. This is the ATA revolution of African pool. Call it African sport. Today, this rainy and cold Wednesday evening, in the city of Kampala, the suburb of Machinde, is Climax Bar and Restaurant, a place which is now a hub for the sport competitively in the country. It is the host of a battle, history in the making, televised, online, and otherwise. CEASER, CHANDIGA, and Ibrahim SSEJEMBA, two of the best players, not just in Uganda, but also on the entire African continent, are deciding, with the permission from their management teams, the Advanced Talent Agency and the Team Roxbury, Team Money Made, to have a trilogy, 3 series of money matches that are being organized across 4 days. Today, Wednesday, tomorrow, Thursday, at the same venue, and as well as Saturday at Addis Sport in Kampala. $6,000 total pot, with each match having a worth of $2,000, and this is one of them. It is IBRAH versus CEASER, a race to 21 for $2,000 today. Action that is expected to happen for about the next 4 hours, maybe less, maybe a little bit more, depending on how fast they will be, depending on the winning margin of whoever is the victor. This all started out as an effect of Ibrahim SSEJEMBA believing that he has returned to his best form, inviting every player who knows how to hold a pool stick on the African continent to money matches at venues and stake as agreed. So far, he has gotten 3 people responding to his plea. The first 2 are down. Banika Mansour was beaten 21-14 right here. Rashid Wagaba Dog City, just 1 week later, was beaten 21-12 at a place not a long distance from here that is called Amigos Kampala Pool Arena. And yet CEASER CHANDIGA's management decided to make it a little bit bigger and better and longer and better scheduled and better organized with everything that you can call the best ever organized match in the history of African pool. As IBRAH fouls, this is the start of the trilogy. 3 money matches across 4 days. Today, tomorrow, and Saturday. This one is only the start. A match that started unfortunately, or will I say a frame that started unfortunately with CEASER fouling on the break. Is having a return of the same favor from his opponent Ibrahim SSEJEMBA, who has also fouled in the course of play. Once again, CEASER nil and IBRAH nil. To take you through this commentary in audio and video on behalf of the Advanced Talent Agency, my name is Simon Peter Chove. Please stay tuned. Enjoy. Live commentary is resuming shortly. It is quite clear that both of these players are not starting in their best vein of form. You will definitely get to be seeing their very best as the match grows bigger and older and longer. Of course, each of them is presumably the other's biggest opponent. Something that has been seen in history too, of players that have faced off some of the most number of times, because of course many a times they go further in most of the tournaments. Many times they've faced off in the semis, in the finals, and even in the lower stages of tournaments. Every time that they have faced off, it has been 2 players on a 3'5" pool table, and yet an entire continent catching a cold because they are simply sneezing in a way of shooting balls. This guy on table, Ibrahim SSEJEMBA, at the age of 25, is without a shadow of a doubt one of the best players, not just in Uganda but also on the entire African continent. He did come to the limelight a good number of years ago. By 2013, he was a trainee with a pool club that was called Mambule in the Ugandan Pool League, because the league was then sponsored by a beverage company. It was only for players who were of beverage age, that is beer age. He was not allowed to play. When Pilsner Lager Company moved out of Ugandan pool, when their contract with the Pool Association of Uganda did expire the following year, he was signed up by Capital Knight Pool Club, a team that up to present day still exists in the Ugandan Pool League. Already a mature player in terms of how he played, although he was a young man, immediately became the best player in the team, something he did maintain for a next series of years, to the effect that 3 years later, he did help the team win their first and only league title to present date, the Senior Pool League of 2017. Not only did he win it, he was joint top scorer alongside then national team captain in Alfred Gomeki. This is the guy that is nicknamed Black Sheep. His career went on blossoming on and on and on, winning his first ever competition, a 64-man comp that was organized in the district of Mityana in central Uganda, playing as good as he has played his yellow off the red and getting the white ball perfect for his first win, most definitely, of the frame. Yes, no mistake made. He leads now 1-0. A guy that won his very first comp in 2017, and yet 7 years later, he is still a top player, not just in his country, but also in the entire African continent. Just at the onset, on this onset of COVID, he moved to the country of Zambia, outside his Ugandan boundaries, for the very first time to participate in a competition that had 64 players from East and Southern Africa, organized in the city of Lusaka by Billiards Cafe, sponsored by Matthew Ngulube. It was called the Matthew Ngulube Open Pool Championship, which did have 1,000 Zambian kwacha. For the winner, a prize that he won after shocking everybody, including himself, including his victim in the final, Victor Sinyinza, by lifting that competition, becoming the first and only Ugandan at the time ever to win a major competition outside the Ugandan soil. He was able to replicate his own achievement when he did win the Grand Mchana Open, an even bigger competition that had the best players from Kenya, Tanzania, Uganda, South Africa, Zambia, Zimbabwe, Eswatini, South Sudan, amongst others. He was able to overcome about 3 Kenyans, 2 Ugandans, 1 Zimbabwean, 1 Tanzanian, and 1 South Africa along the way, as he did win the Grand Mchana Open Championship, a tournament he holds to present date worth $5,000 in the final. I remember him taking down Cornelius Kigen in the first round. Kenyan, he did take down Kelvin Stoway, Kenyan, in the second round. Round of last 32 saw him beat then African champion and seed number 1 Aiden Joseph. Round of last 16, it did see him take down Ugandan Senyonjo Glorious. Another Ugandan, Simon Lubola, was taken down by the same IBRAH in the quarterfinals. The semifinals did see him take down Malvan Mokwanza from Zimbabwe, and then he beat Tanzania's Saif Hamad in the final to clinch the $5,000. He's also credited for winning 2 calendar events organized by the Pole Association of Uganda Single Venue Championships. That was the Easter Cup in 2018, as well as the King of the Table Championship in 2022, just after returning from playing semi-professional pool with Sharks Pool Club in the Zambian Pool League in 2022. Since returning to the country, he has won himself a number of events, weekly comps, money matches, battles. Very hardly does he lose a money match. He has taken down majority of the top Ugandan players in the recent past. Alfred Gomikiriza, Amos Ndiagomanoe, Turije Jonah, Joseph Kasozi, Bwanika Mansur, Lubulwa Simon, Ibrahim Kayanja, Rashid Wagaba, Dog City, all going prey to Ibrahim Sejemba. The one and only player he has not yet beaten in a money match is the one player with whom they've only faced off once in a money match. That was organized also in a race to 21 last year at Beverly Hills in Kampala. With $3,000 to win for the winner at the time, it ended 21-18. It was Caesar who won the day. Caesar himself, a product of the West Nile region of northwestern Uganda, having been discovered in the district of Lira, where he was a trainee at Capital Pub, one of the more fond venues where the sport is played in that area. In 2016, he did partake in the Nile Special National Open Championship, Uganda's biggest comp, the car competition, qualifying from Lira and playing in the grand finals for the very first time as a very young man, a boy at that time. He then moved further north of Uganda to the city of Gulu, where he was adopted by the Gulu Pool fraternity after impressing as a trainee in the district of Lira, the Guru Pool fraternity started moving him to Kampala to participate in tournaments that were organized by the Polo Station of Uganda. And in 2018, he came of age when he reached the Easter Cup Championships that were organized in Kasubi. In Kampala, he reached the semi-finals. I remember him being beaten by eventual first runner-up, Lubola Simon, the computer, in that semi-final. But since then, he was signed up by CKI Pool Club, a team in the National Pool League of the Polo Station of Uganda, only for one half season in 2019, before he joined Ron's Pool Club in the eastern city of Jinja, only for 1 year. And by the onset of COVID, just like IBRAH had done in the past, CEASER moved to Zambia to participate in the East and Southern African Pool Championships, as IBRAH is playing black for the second time in the match, trying to put the same ball at the same pocket with the same result. He leads 2-0 as we speak in a race to 21. Two players that are part of each other's journey. IBRAH getting his shine by winning a tournament in Zambia. CEASER doing the same 2 years later, moving to Zambia to participate in the East and Southern African Pool Championships, a comp in which he was defeated in the quarterfinals of his second life, but impressed a lot as he was so unknown, and yet he did take down some of the bigger Zambian kingpins in Moses Mofia, and Edward Kateta. These soldier performances which did preempt the director of Sharks Pool Club in the Zambian Pool League, Zahid Monshi, to sign CEASER for his services, becoming the first and only Ugandan ever to play semi-professional pool. When he was in Zambia, he was without a shadow of a doubt the best player in that country, winning about 26 weekly comps between 2020 to 2022. Of course, he did return to the country at the end of the year, alongside IBRAH, who had joined him in the same club later in their stay. And their rivalry proceeded with where it had gone on when they had just left Uganda. The two have been close friends, but bitter rivals, especially on the table. They've faced off since then a number of times with fair results between themselves, a fair share of victories between themselves. The finals over the beginning of the year championship in 2023, 1st January, in the district of Masaka. Racing to 9, it did end in 9-5 with CEASER defeating IBRAH. Double elimination competition that was organized at Upper Volta in Kasubi the following year, 2023. CEASER did take down both of IBRAH's lives to win the competition. The same exact fate he did earlier this year, defending his competition successfully, taking down IBRAH in the same way. IBRAH has also had a good number of victories over CEASER, another double elimination competition that was organized at Upper Volta, at Amigos in Kampala. Short race to 5, which did end 5-3, IBRAH winning. A 16-man comp that was organized at Dice Lounge late last year. They did face off in the final, IBRAH winning quite convincingly 13-7. Double elimination competition that was organized at Queen's Sports Club in Bulawayo, Zimbabwe. Sorry, it was the double elimination competition last year that was organized at Billiards Cafe in Lusaka. Both of CEASER's lives were taken down by IBRAH, but this game has been taken down by CEASER, who now pulls one back. Amid the simulations from his fans, it is now 2-1. The very last times these two guys have faced off have been 3 in quick succession, all in the space of 3 weeks. The most recent of them being just 2 weeks ago. They were 3 weekly comps organized in Kamocha at the Kamocha Pool Center and at the Kampala Pool Arena and Amigos respectively. On all 3 occasions, it was IBRAH who did take down CEASER. And it is one of the reasons why we are having these 3 matches that have been dubbed the Trilogy. The management teams of both of these players and the players themselves believe that after these 3 games, these 3 matches, these 3 races, we shall have gotten a total difference. Maybe one of them will have beaten the other, maybe to desperation, to the effect that they will never apply to play with them again. And once again, it is IBRAH 2 and CEASER 1 in a race to 21. Our apologies, ladies and gentlemen. Our videography team is working on graphics to have scoreboard, a scoreboard at the lower third of your stream. Most definitely, in not so much time, you will have a scoreboard. And how about that? Sometimes this guy just gets you by surprise. I didn't see that coming. I thought he was contemplating whether to play the red ball to that same corner pocket bottom left of your screen. The guy saw a way in which he could play his red off the yellow. Had he potted it, it would have been so magical. That is why I say that sometimes, given the stuff that we see from these players, it is only worth it that you watch them for a little pay, especially if most of that pay is going directly to these guys. Thank you for all of you who have subscribed to the ATA platform to watch these guys play. Now this is CEASER trying to play master shot, carving the white ball around the yellow. He fouls, he misses, and gives an opportunity to IBRAH to go 3-1 up. The one and only time that these guys have faced off in a long race did end in CEASER's favor. But it was a close call, that one. Last year at Beverly Hills in Kansanga, it did end 21-18. This one could be even better. And while CEASER has been so dominant on fellow players, winning over 40 competitions ever since returning from Zambia, late 2022, IBRAH remains a very good long racer. Very rarely loses in long races, in battles. He did come, IBRAH, to the limelight by deciding to handicap everybody in the country of Uganda besides 4 players. Maybe for respect, maybe because they were his friends, maybe he had some little fear for them. It was Mansour and CEASER and Joseph Kasoze and Geoffrey Satumba, the guy that was then nicknamed Fire. The rest of the Ugandans, a good 24 million of them at the time, he did tell them that they were free to play with him at a venue of their choice for a stake of their choice, handicapping them with that no black offer, where you're supposed to put only your object balls, the reds or the yellows, and don't even dare to touch the black, and you will have won the game. And believe you me, he beat most of them, except a few, like Habib Sebuguzi, now the national team captain, and another stubborn guy who is called Ivan Morunji. Many other top players did fall prey. In this frame, Caesar could fall prey. In this frame, most likely, IBRAH, very rarely, very seldom, can fail to finish a game as good as this yellow game. Today he's deciding to be very calm and very composed and yet very deadly. He's trying to make it victory over season number 4 out of 4, something that is so unprecedented. And yet he looks in good shape to try and do it, much as the majority of the fans at the venue seem to be Caesar fans. IBRAH is having none of that as he's up against the black for the third time in the match and now leads 3-1. Just like that, it is now 3-2. It is one of those times when sometimes I just give you a few seconds to watch how good these guys I always tell you are. To watch them demonstrate it, to let you watch it without some of the interference of my commentary. Just give us more of your audience. This one is very worthwhile watching. The nerves that these players did have at the start of the match seem starting to disappear. Like I did say, this is one match that could be separated by the breaks. This time, it is a dry break from the killer. In the meantime, special thanks to the Advanced Talent Agency to ensure that, for ensuring that this is having a successful start. At the venue climax, anywhere between 300 and 400 people are enjoying this game. Online, I'm yet to ascertain. One thing I know is that whoever watching this match at the comfort of their home has paid willingly their 1.5 US dollars. Caesar seems not exactly happy with himself. While he's about to play a ball that could take him at equal terms with his opponent for the first time in the match, it will be no problem. Maybe as expected. And how about the facility of watching replays of some of those beautiful shots as they are played in the match? Isn't that beautiful? As we welcome graphics for the first time in this match, we also welcome a match at even scores for the first time since the start of the race. It is 3-3 for now. For just a brief moment, just ignore the scores, the graphics, as they are now corrected. Climax is pretty much full to capacity. The match is now starting to live to its hype. The players are starting to perform to their supposed best. We are now having apples. Just 6 games played. This is the 7th. We have already seen the mistakes and brilliances and nerves and clearances of either of the players. This time it is the little magician in Ibrahim SSEJEMBA who is seemingly about to utilize a foul from CEASER to get a 4th. At this venue where we are, Ibrahim SSEJEMBA has never ever lost a money match. It is at this venue where he did beat Bwanika Mansour around 3 weeks ago. But most importantly, it is at this venue that he did take down South Africa's Jeremiah Naido in even better fashion. Or will I say better fashion? A match that ended 21-15 with, yes, the same stake $2,000 US. A beautiful way in which CEASER plays the white ball off to cushions with big spin on it, finding the yellow. The entertainment is there. I am not so sure that he will be happy with the resulting positioning of his yellow in comparison to IBRAH's reds and the white ball. It is still advantage IBRAH. A miss, an unexpected miss. I'm not so sure that I could predict what CEASER could do here. The distance between the white ball and the yellow and the positioning of the balls around the yellow on both sides doesn't favor CEASER at all. Goes for a bank shot. My goodness. I didn't see that coming, not at all. But with these guys, whatever you could have as a thought as a commentator sometimes doesn't matter. And he follows it up with the pot of the black ball. He follows it up with a lead for the very first time in the match. An applause from the fans, most of whom seem to be supporting CEASER for tonight. Almost of those who have attended this match here at Climax Bar in Kampala, CEASER 4 and IBRAH 3. As we enjoy the replays and how beautiful it is that we are watching this for the very first time in African pool replays as the match is ongoing, especially of the beautiful shots. CEASER will go through the arena as it is, as a norm, as a culture among Ugandan fans. They reward their players. They appreciate their performance with tips, with monies and noise, chanting their name. confirmed. The little magician is playing the yellows. Legendary Ugandan player Fahad Sawankamba once told me in a little discussion that the easiest way of winning a match or the easiest way of winning a game, a single frame, is by break and finish. Then I asked him why. Because in my thoughts it is the hardest way, because not everybody can break and finish. Most of the times it is done by top players. Then he told me that it is because it is the only way that you can win, by not giving your opponent a chance to play, not letting him disturb you at all. You just win your frame and let him rooted at his seat. The easiest way of these players trying to beat each other is by break and finish. That is why it is very important that they pot a ball on the break, that they get a fair split of the balls, that they play a color of balls that is well separated, well on the table. I'm not so sure that this yellow game of IBRAH would qualify in that category. And he's rightly playing a defensive safety shot. He gets it all wrong, he fouls. Umpire Farida naturally rightly calls a foul. CEASER has a chance to have a 2-game cushion here. There we are. And I want to think that it was a concentration lapse, because this table has been worked on, planted today by the best technician in the country. And before the match started, both players did have 30 minutes apiece filling the table. And the match was only given a green light when both of the players said that they loved the condition of this table. I therefore do believe that that foul did come not because of anything to do with balance, but because of a concentration lapse from IBRAH. And it is seemingly likely that CEASER could take him down here. Pot the red ball to the corner pocket right now on the bottom left. White ball stops almost where the red is. Just like that. And then draw the white ball almost the entire length of the table towards the top end of the table. Just like that. There we go. No prize for guessing what is about to come next, like he normally does, punishing players for fouling. CEASER now leads 5-3. From the amount of games that I have seen this guy playing, the guy whose face is occupying your screen right now, I came to a personal conviction that one of the worst versions of CEASER you will ever want to face off as a player is the CEASER who has a score to settle. I do believe that IBRAH has the ability and the psychological fortitude to take down CEASER in a long race. It is just that sometimes CEASER is a little too much. But that shot was not too much. Not at all. And when you are a player, a game like this one is one that you will feel happy to win if you're IBRAH. who is now asking the umpire whether or not the table is open. He wants just to be sure that the red balls that he wants to play are there for the taking. The match has two umpires, both qualified umpires of the Pool Association of Uganda, a male and a female. Umpire Henry Joko did advise that the table had been closed by Caesar IBRAH deciding to play the yellows. After taking more time than the umpire's liking, umpire did warn IBRAH of the amount of time that was left, and IBRAH was not able to concentrate enough to pot a ball that was a little bit tricky, allowing Caesar back in a frame. I thought Caesar was probably not winning, and that was the big miss by IBRAH. Once again, special thanks not only to the Advanced Talent Agency, but also the management teams of both of these players. From wherever you're watching, Mr. Zach Idiro, the regional manager of the Bank of Africa in Uganda, IBRAH's manager. The guy whom, for him, a risk of money to lose, and yet for us, entertainment as lovers of the game. Not just here in the country of Uganda where it is all happening, but also the entire African continent where they are enjoying, most especially for a fee which will be split between the players after removal of the expenses of production. That was a little cheat of the pocket that we call it in pool. Cheat the pocket a little. And then pot a ball that was seemingly unpotable in a way. He's making a little steps, Caesar. With each shot that he takes, with each black that he puts, as the lead tries to go bigger right now, Caesar is becoming dangerously playable right now. After going 2 games down, 3-1 down, it was at one time IBRAH leading. Caesar has responded with 4 consecutive games of his own. He now leads 5-3. And as if the 3 games with which Caesar is leading against IBRAH after 9 frames played are not enough, IBRAH's current misery is compounded by fouling on the break. Something that looks not healthy at all, especially when your opponent is Caesar. That one will be a free shot. It leaves Caesar with a second chance to play. It would still have left an open table even if he had potted the red ball. In black ball rules, when the table is open, when it is 2 shots for the incoming player, the table remains open after the free shot. The shot that Caesar has just played, the big miss, was supposed to be a table closing shot. IBRAH is free to play reds. IBRAH is free to play yellows. He is in fact free to play yellow and pot red as much as he's free to play red and pot yellow. In so doing, he will have closed the table, playing the color of balls that he will have potted. Advantage here, You are watching the first of the trilogy of matches. 3 series of sessions between Ibrahim SSEJEMBA and CEASER CHANDIGA here at Climax Bar in Kampala, the capital city of Uganda. A match organized by the Advanced Talent Agency as a start of the ATA revolution in African pool, a move that is intended to enhance and better the lives of pool players and other sportsmen by allowing their fans who normally enjoy their talents on the internet to watch for a pay which is also cheap for the viewers, affordable for the viewers, although it takes very expensive production of these videos, by the way. But in result, the big beneficiary is the player himself. And if you're watching from any of the African countries where this sport is played at a competitive level, if you're watching from South Africa, Zimbabwe, Zambia, Botswana, Namibia, Malawi, Kenya, Tanzania, South Sudan, Rwanda, Ethiopia, the ATA is coming. Your players stand a chance to be benefactors. Once again, CEASER CHANDIGA 6, Ibrahim SSEJEMBA 3. After this frame, after this ongoing frame, the players will be free to have a 3-minute timeout as guided by the regulations of this match. They are free to have a timeout. If it is called by one, the other has no right to protest. But they are also free to proceed with the play after this frame. Frame number 10, Ibrahim SSEJEMBA on the red. He's not having his groove on. Sometimes he misses in disbelief. Of the two players, he's the one that needs the timeout more badly to try and talk to his management team, his manager, on what they will assess as having gone wrong ever since he did lead 3-1. It is now 6-3, 5 games in a row. Dangerously 5 games lost in a row against CEASER. Is not healthy playing. Even a game where CEASER failed to close the table, I would rather say recklessly, Ibrahim SSEJEMBA has not come up to punish him enough as he would have. The idea is for CEASER to play the yellow ball against the cushion, white ball bouncing off to open the 2 other yellows. In so doing, he gets the target wrong. And IBRAH has a chance again. And if you are a neutral fan, a neutral lover of the game, you'll probably want IBRAH to win this frame, such that after the timeout, the lead is not as big if you are a neutral. And of course, if you are an IBRAH fan. If you are a CEASER fan, most definitely you want to be loving CEASER to extend his lead. Most especially a fan like Rachel Mbewe supporting from Colorado. And it is on the replay that the miss of these players, when it is a miss, becomes too real, like you've just seen momentarily ago. Bank shot, a very important and critical bank shot by IBRAH. And there is no reason as to why he cannot finish off this red game. Try to usher us into the first time out of the match with him having won the last frame. And how about that? Little shots. Potting the red ball diagonally to the corner pocket. White ball opening up the second red, which was frozen against the cushion at the center pocket. It is too much pull in a very little moment of brilliance. It is now IBRAH's game for the taking. This one, his only problem is controlling the white ball, putting the red ball to the center pocket, the one closest to your screen. Right now, in this very beautiful area view of the table where about 90% of the table is covered up by 90% of the screen is covered up by the table. How and 90% of the management of IBRAH's right, in my opinion, IBRAH's white was managed right. He will have a sharp cut of the red ball to do to the corner pocket, most likely the one now on the left. He goes for the one on the right. he gets the shot right. And maybe a chance to win the fourth. But it is a chance that he must utilize appropriately. And yet, unfortunately, it is not the exact kind of white ball that he will be celebrating. A very sharp cut of the black ball is a little bit possible, but not so likely. From where you see the white ball, a very sharp cut of the black ball to the corner pocket. That was the shot. And I will call it a beauty of a shot. Maybe black direct, maybe using scissors yellow as support to guide the black rightwards or leftwards. Maybe play safe, play black to play the yellow towards the cushion. It's another option. He just decided to play safe, leave the black ball behind the scissors yellow. I'm not so sure that shot is safe enough because it leaves the player with the more balls, in which case scissor with 4 yellows as the player in control of the frame. I want to believe that IBRAH may have lost the opportunity to win a fourth before halftime. And this is a plays a defensive safety snooker, as if daring IBRAH to try and foul and then lose a 7th before halftime or before first time break. IBRAH, in my opinion, played yellow first. From my viewing area, which is your exact viewing area, I'm not so sure of the ruling of the umpire. But given how the fact that Caesar did play the yellow ball he has just played and did put it, meaning that whether or not it were 2 visits or 1 would mean 1 and the same. Now this is where the frame will be won or lost. Caesar potting, white ball bouncing off the cushion, moving the width of the table. He didn't even need to play that top spin. He played the white ball backwards and yet moved the white ball in the right way. Maybe to pot yellow and black to the same pocket. He gets his target wrong. Unfortunately for IBRAH, I don't think he will be happy with the fact that white ball is frozen against the cushion. It makes potting a little bit more difficult. Nonetheless, he will try either to the center pocket, direct, or in a bank shot, in a double shot. Something that he can do, but something that is not obvious. There he goes for the bank shot. Not at all. A little bit of a nervous face. I did watch from the little magician when he was taking that shot. Maybe he's starting to get worried. Maybe he's starting to have the fear of the unknown. For Caesar, that won't matter. He is in for the victory. He is also in for the money, the 2,000 US dollars. And makes it 7-3. And rightly, as IBRAH would do, with or without advice or with the advice of his management team, IBRAH is granted the first time out of the match rightly after 10 frames. It is Caesar Chandiga 7 and Ibrahim SSEJEMBA 3. And welcome back, Africa, to the second quarter of the first of the trilogy. A series of 3 money matches, 3 races between 2 of Uganda's and East Africa's and Africa's finest black ball players. Ibrahim SSEJEMBA is down 7-3 against CEASER CHANDIGA in a match in which IBRAH went 3-1 down before losing 6 straight games, with the mistakes from his side, with the brilliances from CEASER, to the effect that the guy that is nicknamed the Scorpion is having a 4-game cushion on the guy that is nicknamed the Killer. This is frame number 11. I like to say that a long race to 21 can be divided into 4 quarters. The first quarter is 10 games. The second quarter is the next 10 games. The third quarter is the next 10 games. The fourth quarter is the last 10 games. If the fourth quarter is concluded with scores at 20-20, then we have a decider. That's why I say that the first quarter is having CEASER in the lead with 7-3. One other thing that I know about IBRAH, he doesn't like it so much when crowds are against him, when the bigger section of the crowds are rooting for his opponent. Sometimes it affects his game. Could easily be having the best results in money matches between him and CEASER. Only a few times has IBRAH been taken down in money matches in long races, and the majority of the times when he has been taken down, it were times when he was giving big handicaps, like no black. The last time he was beaten, giving out no black, is when he took on Yuda Sembo, so the guy that is nicknamed Dembaba. Race to 16 that did end 16-12. Here in Uganda, at his own home turf, he has been taken down by Aiden Joseph. Has also been taken down by CEASER CHANDIGA, his current opponent right now. But IBRAH has a series of victories, 3 of them against Bwanika Mansur, victory against Kasozi Joseph, Turije Jonah, Gomeki's Alfred Blackship, Amos Ndiagumanawe, the last 3 being handicapped with that no black thing. Victory over Rashid Wagaba Dog City, actually twice. Victory over Ibrahim Kayanja with a 5-game head start on the Real Magician. And the score was so convincing, 21-15. You factor in the 5 games with which Kayanja IBRAH was head started, and it was actually 21-10. And I also want to think that CEASER's money match statistics are even better. It's only this year that he has been taken down by any Ugandan in a long race. And he was head starting with guys with +6, guys of the level of Hazard and Mansour. But both of them did beat him, Hazard twice and Mansour once. To the effect that even when the +6 was factored in, it would matter less. Of course, CEASER did beat Mansour in the rematch. If you are to call this one a rematch, it so far doesn't look like IBRAH will be having perfect revenge on the Scorpion, who last beat him 21-18 the last time these two guys faced off in a race to 21, which is 1 year ago. There's always that one shot in the frame that could, that is the turning point of the match. Maybe the shot that CEASER has potted, he's read off IBRAH's yellow, displacing the yellow to a point that you could call it a dead ball. This one looks like a formal clearance again for CEASER. And the worst thing that it will be for IBRAH is to have your timeout, and then right after timing, you lose the first game in the second quarter. It can be just a little bit mind-boggling. something just gets in your mind that maybe it is not my day. You are watching Ugandan Pool Plus, courtesy of an innovation by the Advanced Talent Agency to develop players personally in their personal life by creating them a platform on which they would be paid for their fans who love to watch them express their talents. And this is the first of a trilogy of money match sessions. 3 of them. Another is happening tomorrow. Same time, same venue. And thank you for all of you who did subscribe. Your subscription does expire in 24 hours from the time that you did subscribe. And once you resubscribe tomorrow, you will be watching more of the same, like you have just seen. Some of these shots, no problem, it will be paying them, watching them for a pay. And it was just before IBRAH looked like he was going to win a 4th. Failing to pot a ball, leaving it only packed at the corner pocket closest to your screen on the right. And then CEASER coming up to make a clearance, which is his 8th in the match. But for in the second quarter, CEASER CHANDIGA 8, Ibrahim SSEJEMBA 3. Welcome to the ATA platform, ladies and gentlemen. This platform has a section on its homepage. It has those phone contacts where you can call or WhatsApp the management for anything that you think may have not gone in your favor. And for the fact that it is only the first time that it's being done, I want to call this a success. And one of the reasons I will call it a success is because you are having television replays in slow motion of beautiful shots for the first time on the African continent. One of those few times when CEASER, even being CEASER, decides to play. defense. It was not only a necessary but also an effective defensive shot. And you would think that both of these players are kind of playing on the minds of each other. The game will be won but by whoever of these two players manipulates the situation best around the midpoint of the table closest to your screen, where we have a red ball and a yellow ball and the black ball almost interlocked with each other. Two red, two yellows, and the red and the black. Andy, how about that? Sometimes he just keeps you guessing what he could do next, Caesar. Not only was the pot difficult, even finding white ball was difficult. He made it look all easy. His game is now pretty much open. And you would think that IBRAH now will be tempted to make a clearance, because if he does, Caesar's game seems pretty open. That is, if he doesn't, maybe Caesar will pounce. It is starting to look increasingly likely that maybe the killer, as Ibrahim SSEJEMBA is nicknamed, is winning. A game is pulling one back, maybe the first of a series of games that will inspire a mighty and a very memorable comeback. We can only say maybe. One thing that he has not lost in full is composure. For the last 30 minutes, his concentration was a little bit suspect. A very important shot, this one. He needs to support the black ball. Yes, he does. At least he pulls the game back. This one will work big time. Not only for him to pull one game back, but also try and inspire his confidence back in his mind to try and reignite an attempt of a comeback. Because his only chance of winning this match is coming from down. It is Caesar 8 and IBRAH 4. A dry break. Is this the start of the comeback of IBRAH? Like I normally say, like I said at the start of this match, this race could be won from the difference of the break of these players. It could be it could be won by just 1 or 2 unforced errors. It could be won by whoever of the players makes more apples than the other. And how about that ring-like playing area in which you have only 3 people, the 2 players and the umpire. I like to assess the performance of players, most especially after the timeout, to see who of the players or who of the 2 managers did have better team talk than the opposing manager. From the timeout, the first game was won by CEASER, the second by IBRAH. This one is the third. Of course, both of these guys are quite busy. And yes, busy playing pool. A lot of pool, a lot of black ball, and also a lot of ball coming up for these guys before the end of this year. As for IBRAH, he's expected in Nairobi Mchana Pub and Grill try and defend his victory of the Grand Mchana Open Championship. A tournament in which CEASER is also expected to be in participation, amongst a series of others. CEASER's international program is still ongoing. The expectation is that by the end of this weekend, he will most likely have acquired a Moroccan visa to participate in the African stop of Ultimate Pool for the very first time. Himself and Rashid Wagaba Dog City, his teammate in the Advanced Talent Agency. And of course, the African Hayball Championships, which will also be in Marrakesh, Morocco, at the end of next month. The fans seem to be entertained enough. Critical shot, this one. But not accurate enough. Also, a big special thanks to our videography team. By the way, it is a team of about 10 people who are making sure that the videos come to you live. A lot of technology in action, a lot of IT work, a little bit of challenges. That's why you see the scoreboard is not yet updated up to now. Ignore the 3 on the side of IBRAH. It is 4. And all of them are paid. Not just today, they've been paid for a number of days, including the trial comp that happened at Amigos, that a competition in which they did stream one of the matches. That one was on YouTube and free to view. But trial of this kind of beautiful stuff. I do believe that you're watching the best ever production of a pool match ever witnessed on the African continent. The different camera angles, the slow motion replays, the ring-like playing environment, playing on the red carpet, brand new and just felted on the ground before the match. A freshly assembled Super League pool table with a brand new table felt, a brand new tablecloth on it, and the option to pay online to support the players, but watching top quality. And yet the online pay is pretty much affordable. And for most of you who are pool fans, what will you do in 1.5 US dollars after all? I believe even if you are watching this match, maybe a 32-man comp on Facebook, that money wouldn't facilitate the data bundles for the entire day. For some of you who normally watch for those long hours of the night, little steps that Ibrahim SSEJEMBA is now taking to try and mount what will be a very memorable comeback if it happens. A long race tests the abilities of both of the players in all of the ways. How consistent they are in potting, how well they can control the pressure, their longevity, not being tired when the race grows so old, the ability to remain playing even if fans are either for you or against you. Discipline in front of the umpires, respecting calls, respecting decisions. How to come back when you are down, and everything that it is entailed therein. A long race is not stuff for the faint-hearted players. It is the stuff of men. A long race against IBRAH is stuff for CEASER. A long race against CEASER is stuff for IBRAH. 8-4. Seeming like 8-5 is about to load on the bottom of your screen. It is now 2 shots to go. Tap the yellow ball to the center pocket, draw the black ball backwards. Where will the white rest? That is a very suspect white. And IBRAH's body language tells it all. From my viewing angle, the little magician hasn't produced the magic this time round. He seems snookered either wholly or partially. Either wholly or partially. That is how the white ball moved, ending up behind the red. He is snookered and self-snookered. Finding the black ball is not enough. All that we'll do is finding the black ball and pot it by intention or by luck. There we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. That's why I say that this game is a gift that always keeps on giving. Desperate situations call for desperate measures. As the fans celebrate, that is Sumaya Namutebi, female player, seems to be supporting IBRAH. All smiles her way. I wouldn't call that a lucky shot in my opinion, because he went for power. Going for power means you are playing to pot. IBRAH 5, CEASER 8. And how about that angle for you to see the break shot as clear as the word clear itself? ATA is giving pool lovers who decide to watch online an opportunity to watch the break shot, having the entire screen of your phone or computer or television occupied by the table. Something that I last saw in the live stream of the World Heibo Championships in China. And of course things like Ultimate Pool. The comeback is on. When it was 8-3, you could just think that IBRAH had hit the dead end. At 8-5, you just think that it can always be anybody's game. The only problem is that IBRAH's opponent is CEASER. And there goes the entire table bed occupying your screen entirely. Beautiful vision. Maybe CEASER is contemplating a bank shot, but red ball he's looking at to the center pocket on the right. White ball moving rightwards towards the top end of the table, maybe opening up the red ball that is in front of IBRAH's yellow. The shot is perfect. That is the stuff I am proud to ask you to watch for replay. The brains, the thought, the idea to have it played, and indeed the execution. His only issue, CEASER, is that the pot of any ball now is a little bit hard. But surely he pot, he would have been home and dry. But by missing, IBRAH gets chance. To win another. And I think IBRAH is pretty much in pole position to go for another. To make it 6, to come within 2. To put pressure on CEASER, but also inspire confidence in himself, IBRAH. Little beautiful shot. Potting to the corner pocket with big spin on the white ball, moving it rightwards, getting accurate angle for his next yellow, which would have been the most, maybe the more difficult ball on the table. And now he'll want to put that yellow ball to the center pocket and then move the white ball rightwards to get a good angle. To try and put both of the other would be 2 yellows that are near your screen on the left to that corner pocket, bottom left of your screen, as umpire Khadija Nachiride looks on. There we go. All right, that will do. That will do. He actually has some space between CEASER's red that is near your screen. On the left, there is space between that red and the jaw of the pocket. IBRAH can pass his red. That's even better sight of that pocket. And very good space. With top spin on the cue ball, bouncing it off the cushion and moving rightward such that he can put the second yellow to the corresponding pocket near where he is standing. Just like that, he did use the amount of energy that he wouldn't fancy. That one will go down as an unforced error. But in a very sharp cut of the yellow ball, he could put it to the corner pocket. But even when he puts, he would be a little bit lucky to have a good white for the black. Actually, having a sharp cut is so far-fetched. As we look at the bed of the table, on which the Magician and the Scorpion are taking on each other, racing to 21 for $2,000 tonight. Same thing they are doing tomorrow, same time, same venue, same fee. One will not do for IBRAH. It looks like this is an opportunity blown away. No prizes for guessing what is about to happen next. IBRAH knows. CEASER knows. IBRAH's fans at the venue know. And his fans watching online do know that the Scorpion will never ever forgive you when granted this kind of opportunity, especially after losing 2 games in a row. This one, I will say, has been lost by IBRAH before I will say it has been won by CEASER. Nonetheless, it is CEASER 9 and IBRAH 5. If you are just joining this stream, 2 of Uganda's and East Africa's and Africa's best players, maybe best ever players, especially from the Ugandan perspective, are racing against each other live in battle for $2,000, something they are doing exactly tomorrow as well as Saturday this week, with the facility of the Advanced Talent Agency to enhance these players to be paid from their talents by allowing online viewership, which is paid for, with monies that are shared between these 2 players equally after removing the costs of production of the live streaming. It is Ibrahim SSEJEMBA, 5, the guy that is donning the white with that beautiful haircut, taking on CEASER CHANDIGA, who has 9. I'm told by our production team that the audio is okay. And the images are brilliant on whichever gadget you are choosing to watch from. Whichever gadget you can afford to watch from. Android, iPhone, casting to watch on television. And that one is a yes for IBRAH. He very rarely loses money matches. About 80% of his money matches have ended in defeat. Actually, for the last 2 years, the times that that I remember him losing in money matches, that defeat to CEASER is the money match he did play in Johannesburg last year. And then the defeat to Aiden Joseph. And races where he did not have to handicap his opponent. That's just it for the games that he lost. Outside of that, it was win-win-win, WWW all through. Just as it has been for that previous frame. That one was the easiest spot of the black that IBRAH will ever get in a pool game. He now gets himself to 6 as compared to CEASER's 9. When it is the dry break, the facial expression is there for everybody to see. It can speak volumes, can speak more than even if the player would have spoken if they had spoken out their mind. And CEASER's face is a face of anticipation after a chance given to go into double figures for the very first time in tonight's race. We have seen a lot from both of these players in the first 15 frames, but I also like to think that we have not seen it all. We have seen enough, but we have not seen it all. Less apples than I would have expected. And the live stream of tomorrow will come with improved graphics. The lower third of your screen will most likely be having a section for statistics like apples and fouls and clearances and things like those as they happen in real time. It is only getting bigger and better by the Advanced Talent Agency, but it could also get bigger for IBRAH if he can take away this game, which would have been more a gift from CEASER. It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 reds, all of them in perfect space. And in the meantime, for as long as you are a subscribed member on the ATA platform, as long as your subscription is alive and working, you can always come back to the platform and watch these games even when the live streaming is done. And I know that most likely that not this match is being cast on big screen at Roxbury Bar in the district of Mukono, the venue that is run and organized and managed by IBRAH's management team. And they are watching with a little bit of caution, with the fear of the unknown. A match that is also most likely being cast on the giant screen at the Cuba in Gulu, at Capital Pub in Lira. Places where CEASER calls home in terms of himself as a pool player. And they are watching most likely with anticipation and expectation that maybe in maybe 2 hours or so from now, they will have celebrations of a victorious night and most likely drink the night away. A little bit of skill on the white ball, but maybe it wasn't well guided by CEASER. And in this case, I want to say that he is in a little bit of trouble. Very difficult situation here. I'm not so sure what he's trying to do. I think he just tried to play safety, play his yellow ball behind IBRAH's red, make it difficult for IBRAH to play connection, give him difficult white. Not a very bad shot. But he can only wait, he can only anticipate that IBRAH fails to make a clearance here. It has gotten to that time of the match where it gets a little bit tricky, a little bit slow, a little bit tactical, and a little bit cautious. And many times it is at this stage of the match, sometimes where that match can be decided, where one of these players can win a series of consecutive games, making it so difficult for their opponent to make a comeback. One of these two players cooled, IBRAH cooled, CEASER cooled. IBRAH shooting to try and do something that he has not done before. Take CEASER down in a long race. Of course, he has taken him down a number of times. About 7 in competitions. IBRAH taking down CEASER. Twice at the Billiards Cafe. Double elimination competition. Last year in Lusaka. Thrice in the last month in weekly comps organized in Uganda. Also, IBRAH did beat CEASER. A final of a comp that was organized at Dice Lounge, a 16-man comp. And a double elimination cup that was organized at Amigos in Kampala. Also, CEASER having a fair share of wins on IBRAH. Some of the most notable ones. Last year, Johannesburg at the Holy Cup. A race to 7 in the first round of the men's singles Open Championship. It ended 7-1, CEASER winning. Of course, a money match, the only one that they've played before today between themselves, racing to 21. 21-18, CEASER won. Twice in consecutive tournaments, defending the championship of the Upper Volta double elimination competition, and in both tournaments, CEASER did win positions number 1 and 2 because it was. He did take positions number 1 and 2, but he won the final in both occasions with 2 lives intact, and in both occasions taking down IBRAH twice. And the CEASER is being subjected to play the kind of game that he normally isn't accustomed to, the defensive technical game. Playing the pool of the mind before the pool of the hand. In this kind of play, which requires critical thinking before critical shooting, you just think IBRAH may be having a little nod on CEASER. But Caesar is trying to prove, especially in this ongoing frame, that he can match IBRAH even at his own game. A slow, technical, tactical kind of play. He has gotten himself back into the game now. He can play one or two shots that could get himself either into pole position to win this game, steal it away, maybe, or win the game itself. He's deciding to go for patience, play another tactical shot, and there we are. This time, from my viewing position, I think IBRAH is snookered. And yet in finding his yellow IBRAH, the little of the yellow that he could see, he gets the white ball to the best position that he would have wanted it to the table, on the table. It is now brain versus brain, shot versus shot, thought versus thought. IBRAH finds his red. Caesar will most likely continue on playing snooker. Things are starting to get interesting here. Especially now that Caesar has missed a shot and IBRAH having a chance to once again come within 2 games of Caesar to make it 7-9. To make the scoreline more respectable, to put more respect on his name, to make it more unpredictable, to put confidence upon himself, to try and make his management team happy and himself happy and his fans happy. And there we go. At the venue, his fans are getting re-energized, and it is their player who is re-energizing them. He now makes it 7-9 in a race 2-21. 16 games played, 4 to go to halftime. It is a marathon. It is not a sprint. Once again, IBRAH 7 and Caesar 9. In the meantime, this session that at times looks like an IBRAH session has had that little interception of IBRAH missing a ball that would have been a simple ball, with the opportunity for CEASER to regain his 3-game cushion. Huge test of the players' mental fortitude, mental strength, both of them. Huge test of their shooting ability. Huge test of their technical game. Huge test of their capacity to withstand each other in a long race. Huge test of their ability to play amongst a chanting crowd base, either for or against yourself as a player. A huge test for IBRAH. Huge test for CEASER. He's never shy on trying out things, CEASER. He's never shy on entertainment. And entertaining in a way that helps him win. They are watching in Gulu, in Lira, supporting him in Johannesburg, where he has played before, and Nairobi, and Dar es Salaam. But they are also watching in Mokonat Roxbury, IBRAH's home venue. They are also watching in Kigali, where he has played before, in Lusaka, in Fort Portal, and many places in between, where he is a darling IBRAH SSEJEMBA. But despite that, the current situation leaves CEASER within 1 shot of going 3 games up against IBRAH once again in this race, which is a gift that always keeps giving. As long as he sinks the red ball to the corner pocket, he gets it right. This is the easiest of the blacks that he will have potted in the race. It is CEASER in double figures for the very first time in the race after 17 games played. IBRAH 7 and CEASER 10. One of the things that we love the worst, the least, will I say, when playing against CEASER is potting the white ball on the break, because it always seems as an obvious frame given away. CEASER is arguably the best long racer on the continent. He's having superior performance statistics in long races against others of the fellow top shooters that Africa is having today. Superior performance in long races against Aiden Joseph. And trying to speak objectively, how many better things have you watched happening to African pool than what is being showcased today? Not just what's happening today, but what is seeming like a very long and everlasting but impactful change to pool players. How many things? Maybe the advent of those big regional competitions like Mchana and Billiards Cafe and Queens. The formation of the AAPA, would it rank? Yes, it would. Of course it would. What would come close? The attempt by Zambia to win the World Black Ball Championships last year in Tangier, Morocco. Well, South Africa's Beatrice Monyake becoming world champion, would it? I personally rate this initiative so highly. I rate it so highly. Not just for what it is doing today, but what it promises to achieve for these players in a long spell of time to come. The winner of this match will be a double winner. But even the loser will have won somehow because they are cashing in on some of the money that you have paid to view them. The umpires are winners. Not only do they have their shine, they are getting to be paid. The commentator, like myself, a winner. The fans at the venue, winners. The fans, even online, are winners because they are getting exactly what they paid for. I do believe that these graphics, and shortly afterwards, we are going to be having graphics of some ongoing statistics in the match. And then maybe starting tomorrow, we shall be having them in starting right at the start of the match. Things like how many times they have scored apples, dry breaks, lags, and things like that. The venue, Climax Bar, is a winner because they are having about 300 people, also, no, around 400 people, by the way, locked in support and the passion of their favorite players at the venue, and of course supporting with those drinks and all. The table technicians are winners. The videography team are winners. Lots of winners from the initiative of the Advanced Talent Agency. Once again, I want to say that thank you, ATA. And the players that are signed up under ATA as management, two of them, Rashid Wagaba, Dog City, and CEASER CHANDIGA, are heading to Morocco in about 2 weeks' time to participate in the African stop of Ultimate Pool. The very first time that Ugandans are participating. I'm made to understand that Aiden Joseph is in final preparation to make his way. And also I'm made to understand that there are plans of games of African players streamed maybe on this platform. That shot will be advantage IBRAH. A very buoyant crowd of passionate supporters. Now there are the graphics for us. We have the lower third of the screen having a column for the current score, a column for the green apples. The green apple is where a player breaks and finishes without allowing the opponent to play at all. A red apple is where a player breaks and then the opponent finishes the game in one visit of the table. A foul break is where white ball is potted on the break, or white ball falls off the table, or where there is no good split of the balls to the fact that two balls cross the imaginary center of the table. And then a dry break is where no ball is potted by the player on the break. And in due course, we shall be getting you other statistics, like fouls, like clearances, things like my good friend Moses Bukanya likes so much. But thank you, Advanced Talent Agency, for that initiative. It looks beautiful. For the fans to follow the game even more passionately and more informatively, but also more enjoyably. And it's the work of our professional videography team. The beautiful ring-like playing area, exact same format as it is at the World Hayball Championships. The red carpet, brand new, fastened at the floor, makes the players feel like VIPs, because in the game players are indeed VIPs. They are the only stakeholders of the sport. The sport wouldn't exist. The sport can exist without. Pool can be played without a manager. Pool can be played without an umpire. Pool can be played without a media man like myself. Pool can be played without the political leaders of the game. But pool cannot be played without players. That's why I call them the number one stakeholders of the sport. That is why an initiative like this one, which has them and on the forefront of benefit, is my type of initiative, especially for the fact that it is affordable. The word is affordable. All right. IBRAH seems to be getting his groove back slowly, by slowly. The fact that he has not gotten himself in equalizing position on CEASER, because CEASER has been stubborn enough not to allow IBRAH to. But in the second quarter of the match, IBRAH is so far the best player. After going 7-3 down in the first Thank you for tuning in from wherever you're tuning in. You have hundreds watching at the venue, but multitudes of hundreds watching from Kenya, from South Africa, from Botswana, from Zambia, from Zimbabwe. Couldn't get done with those that want to watch from Malawi, probably tomorrow. They will be watching. And of all the many big challenges that are expected at the start of things that are big, most of them have been handled at the start. Just a few more. Just a few more. But the most important ones are covered. One big shot for Caesar. I don't think potting that yellow ball closest to the white ball will be a problem. But the cut on the yellow ball make playing white ball backwards a little bit tricky. He nonetheless goes for backspin, drawing the white ball backwards. There it is. That will do. That will do. But in natural movement, potting of the yellow ball, the one and only left yellow ball to the corner pocket now on the bottom left of your screen, does have a bounce of the white ball against the cushion, and then white ball moves towards the top end of the table, and it becomes very tricky to pot the black if Caesar pots his yellow. Crucial shot, this one. After potting, he avoided the exit of the white ball towards the top end of the table, applying some kind of English. After bouncing the white ball off the cushion in a drawback, now has the white ball to try and put black ball to the center pocket on the left from where you're watching. Has to be a sharp cut. There we go. An accurate sharp cut, and white ball is potted. Advantage IBRAH. He is now within one game of Caesar, just one. After 19 games, it is IBRAH 9 and Caesar 10. Once again, guys, welcome aboard. We've gone half the distance. We've played half the number of games. Especially if we are not to go to the decider, we've played at least half. It could be way more than a half if one of these guys can win a series of consecutive games and win this match pretty much convincingly. For those of you who are just joining the stream, it is Ibrahim SSEJEMBA 9 and CEASER CHANDIGA 11 in today's first of the trilogy, as these 3 sessions of money matches are being named. It is today, it is tomorrow, it is Saturday, in which CEASER and IBRAH are racing to 21 on each of the days for $2,000 for each race. It is the money that one of them will win or lose tonight. The advantage is that both will be winners in a way financially. There is a $3 get collection at the venue. The money, which shall be shared equally between the players, as well as $1.5 money that is being charged for online viewership after removing production charges of the video. The rest shall be shared between the players equally. An initiative of the Advanced Talent Agency, revolutionizing pool on the African continent for the benefit, especially of the sport's #1 stakeholder, the player. Be ready to go through what it takes, but to benefit from this. Maluva, Eshka, Sakala, Aiden, Jerry, Victor, Royd, Kelvin, Bubez, Jinte. But now, right from the break, CEASER did exactly as he did just before the break, win the game, and win it pretty convincingly, this time by Apo. It is CEASER 12 and IBRAH 9. And despite however good these guys are, green apples have been very scarce. Maybe that is the first of this match, if I'm not mistaken. No wonder that CEASER is going through the arena getting tips from the fans. And from some of our social WhatsApp platforms, there have been complaints that the video is not visible. One thing, I myself did subscribe in support of this initiative. Even though I'm watching the match at the venue, I did subscribe and I've turned on my phone, and the game is beautiful. The stream is beautiful, as the word beauty itself. So maybe it could be the network of someone. And for those of you who are in Uganda, to use some of these online applications, sometimes VPNs have to be removed first. So also try, whenever you tune in, you don't have VPN logged into your phone, especially if you are watching into a phone, never mind a computer. It looks even more beautiful when you're watching a cast video on your television. It is a race to 21 of this trilogy. We are more than halfway through the journey now, confirmed, of this marathon, which is not a sprint. Race to 21 tests the players in full. The only longer race that has ever been played on the African continent, from my memory, was the race to 25. That match that did happen between CEASER and Jerry, when they did rematch at Tickles and Giggles in Kampala. Once again, special thanks, besides the Advanced Talent Agency, will go to the management teams of both of these players. For CEASER, his management team is the organizing committee, if I can use the word committee for this, because he's under the Advanced Talent Agency in terms of personal management. But for IBRAH, special thanks to Roxbury and its entire management, especially you, Zach Idiro. who has always ensured that IBRAH is on track, who is in charge, who is responsible, especially financially, for the revamp of IBRAH. Nowadays, we are getting to see more or less the IBRAH that we are accustomed to seeing for all of these years, entertaining us and entertaining us greatly. He did invite the whole of the African continent in a poster that was also forwarded to myself. And if you are watching this, as long as you hold an African passport and you are a player of pool, IBRAH wants you in battle. Whoever is interested, he wanted to shake Caesar off himself for good. That's why he said, for you, Caesar, I want to beat you thrice. And he's so confident in himself in calling the players to the venue when the matches were about to start. When today's match was about to start, IBRAH was called first, then Caesar last. It is Caesar who came first, and I understand IBRAH said it is the champion who comes last. Don't call me first. And I loved that confidence. But it will be lovable more as long as he sinks in this black, which most likely he will. Yes, he does. And that is more of it. Responding to fire by fire, apple by apple. IBRAH 10, Caesar 12. Thank you so much, Mr. William Soko, for having been our agent of the Advanced Talent Agency today in ensuring that those who are watching from Zambia are helped and eased their way into viewing this stream, which they are now enjoying at the comforts of their home from Lusaka to Ndola to Livingstone and everywhere in between. Thank you very much, Mr. Francis Slim Mokweke. Those two are my fellow streamers and now pretty much doing work of the ATA, and they do it proudly because for streaming, their intention, streaming doesn't come with any salary. The intention is for these guys to become stars. When they grow, the sport grows along, and we as streamers also grow along. And then we have things like Advanced Talent Agency which come up, of course injecting the money into the game upon realization that the game is well followed. Thank you very much, Evans Okacha and Trevor Mweyu, for helping out the Kenyan viewers, easing them into the stream. Thank you very much, Supra Maranga Morolongo, for doing the work, easing the streamers from Botswana. The same work has been done in South Africa and Tanzania and Rwanda. Thank you very much for all our agents. After all, it is the Advanced Talent Agency of agents. And our umpires today are Henry Joko, the gentleman, and Hadija Nachiride, the lady. And if you are a lady and you want to be an umpire, isn't this a little bit inspiring? First of all, standing up for about 6 hours when you are a lady and still stable physically and emotionally. I think that's a little bit inspiring. Farida, the umpire, a former player of the game in herself, reaching to big finals of the Plus Session of Uganda. She's a pretty good player, by the way, but deciding to take a break from playing, and nowadays doing only officiation. And she has done so for a good number of years, 6 or 7 or so. But for the male umpire, Joko Henry, even much longer. At least a dozen years officiating the game and still going strong. And then back to the game. Does it get any better than watching these two? I mean, how many better games can you watch on the African continent? Two players gifted, but very distinctively gifted. And some of the stuff they do are similar, but doing it in a very similar, very different style, taking different amount of time between shots, but what they normally do has the same result. A level of consistency in between themselves is not exactly the same, but these two guys have really delivered over time. Yeah. I think sometimes when I leave you to watch it on your own, to watch it for yourselves, it's all worth it. You could get entertained by listening, but you could also get entertained by simply watching. But look at that for the movement of the white ball. Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that worth you paying to watch? We'll need to seal it off by putting the black ball, which he does ever so easily, sometimes ever so effortlessly. And while both players are already way into their double figures, it is a 3-game lead for the Scorpion. CEASER 13 and IBRAH 10, meaning IBRAH needs 11 and CEASER needs 8 out of the remaining 19 games. If we are to play this race to a completion, if we are to have a decider, the maximum number of games we can play is 19, and yet of the 19, CEASER needs 8. And IBRAH 11. Every frame that is played is now becoming ever so critical for IBRAH. And how about that for a television play? And yet IBRAH breaks and once again puts the white ball on the break. It is scary. It is, unfortunately, it is worrying. If you are a fan of IBRAH, if you are a member of the management team, more so if you're IBRAH himself. And yet, as if that is not enough, this one looks increasingly likely that Caesar is winning again. At least this frame. Taking no time, wasting no effort, taking no chances. There he is. A little bit of left-handed action. There we go. The word that was taught to me by a member of Caesar's fans team was ambidextrous. Using the left hand fairly good when you are actually right-handed. That's what Caesar has just demonstrated momentarily ago. So far we have seen 3 foul breaks, if I'm not mistaken, from either of the players. 5 foul breaks. I want to retaliate. 5 foul breaks, 3 by IBRAH and 2 by Caesar. Once when IBRAH fouled on the break, Caesar made a single visit clearance. One when Caesar fouled on the break, IBRAH made a single visit clearance. And from a neutral perspective, you will want IBRAH to probably pull another one back, to probably make the match more interesting and much more tight and more tense. Maybe the neutral will want this one to end in the decider in a wire. Maybe just to play the rest to completion. When the sport is organized with this kind of top-notch organization that the ATA is introducing in the sport, believe you me, both players are winners. Caesar or IBRAH, whoever loses tonight's race, will lose their $2,000, but they will take a fair percentage of the money that you guys have paid to watch them. That is, for me, one of the best initiatives that have ever happened to African pool. I know you are watching from Lusaka. Hans Rugari, a lover of both of these players, marketing manager, marketing director of the All Africa Pool Associations, moving places around the continent to ensure that African pool grows strides and strides and strides. By the time he was assigned with that role of being marketing director, in 2019 there were 3 countries that participated in the All Africa Pool Championships. He has now brought a lot of countries on board. The last AAP Championships did have 8 teams, actually 9, and yet there is a promise of at least 12 for the next edition, which is happening next year at a country where your guess is as good as mine. Maybe Kenya, maybe Namibia. A little chance, maybe Uganda, who knows. And I think it is in this part of the world, in the part of the continent where passion is a little bit too much. These new innovatives that you are seeing are being driven by the passion of the fans. And thank you, Africa, for enabling us as a pool fraternity be one. Right now, I think it is now one African pool fraternity, all united by the internet. And the internet is being made even better, being utilized even better by the Advanced Talent Agency. And when this thing of live streaming of match videos was being started by Mr. William Soko. Even when he sees things like this happening, I believe he is a very happy guy, inspiring the likes of myself and Francis Mokwekwe and the other streamers Now, it is professional videography in the sport of pool on your phone at the comfort of your home, maybe in your car, maybe at your place of work, nonetheless enjoying your favorite players as you would wish to enjoy them. And these are two of them. One of them is 4 games down against a fellow top player, Ibrahim Sejemba, up against the black, hoping to make it 11. Most likely he will. Why not? There he goes. There he sinks in the black. There he makes it 11 to Caesar's 14. It is that point of the match where you think that the match could be won or lost any time from now. Should one of these players win a series of consecutive games, most especially Caesar because he's in the lead, of course. But even IBRAH, if he can win 2, 3, 4, 5 games in a row, and once again, we are at the Climax Bar in Machinde, in Kampala, the capital city of Uganda. 2 of the proudest sons of the land in terms of playing the sport of pool, IBRAH and Caesar, are taking on each other in a race to 21 for $2,000 tonight. Same thing happening tomorrow, same thing happening on Saturday. The match is a product of the return to form of IBRAH, who is without the shadow of a doubt one of the best players, not just in Uganda but also the African continent. But his dominance has come to question ever since the rise of Caesar. To the effect that IBRAH, after returning to form from the good work and guidance of his management team, Roxbury, did invite all African players for money matches, of course starting here at home. He has so far taken down 2 big names in Dog City and Mansour. This one is the 3rd. He's becoming a little bit harder to crack. Nonetheless, possible. I know you're watching Supra Marang. Very good work you're doing in Botswana, promoting the game that side. I know you're watching Fred Crash Karanja, the guy who, in my opinion, is a big inspiration behind the rise of Kenyan pool for the last 10, 12, 15 years. A very common intersection every time it has been pool Kenya. One name that has not been missing has always been Fred Karanja as a player and as a leader of the sport. Some special people who need special recognition in the sport on the continent. It looked as though IBRAH was just about. He came within a whisker, would I say, of making this clearance. And yet somehow the easiest of balls came to haunt him against the worst of opponents you can ever have in a situation like this one. There we go with your statistics below your screen. Only 3 green apples to players of this level, in my opinion, is a little bit of an underperformance, but red apples are there. 4 of them, 5 foul breaks, 3 by IBRAH and 2 by CEASER. And IBRAH knows it. When opportunity like this one comes CEASER's way, there is always one expectation, and that is the expectation. Up against the black once again to make it 15 to come within 6 of the victory, as long as he rolls the black inside, which he does so easily and so expectedly. CEASER 15 and IBRAH 11. From our statistician, I can see 6 dry breaks recorded from both players only. And when you factor in the 5 foul breaks shared between both players, it has been 11 bad breaks from both of the players out of 15 games played. It means not a very good job on the break. That is some homework for the management teams of both of these players. Also special thanks to Prince Morake, always supportive to South African players based in Johannesburg. Did give me the information earlier this week that Eden, just like CEASER, just like Dog City, is headed to Morocco in 1 week's time for both Ultimate Pool and the African Hayball Championships in Marrakesh. And special thanks to all the African countries that are taking ladies pool as they're taking it serious. Pool is not a sexist sport. It is promoted for the males as much as it is promoted for the ladies. The Zimbabwean national team is in final stages of preparation for the World Black Ball Championships this year in Manchester. But CEASER seems to be in final preparations for a shot that could take him to a 16th of the match, this time in very, very, very impressive fashion. It will contend for one of the shots of the match, if not the very best. Shooting on target. Guiding the white ball off the cushion, opening up one red ball to the corner pocket. Right now on the top left of your screen. Caesar's big problem is now the position of the black ball. It is still a tricky shot, a tricky frame, but last shot he played was a wonder. And he plays well enough to see his one and only remaining red ball. He also gives himself a sharp cut of the white ball on the red ball, which will probably bounce off the cushion to try and give him chance to open up the black ball. We just have a replay of the magic. And after that replay, when it was played, Caesar was actually playing that penultimate shot for himself in the frame. It looks as though he is snookered before he can play the black. No fun at the venue. Can even think of retiring to go home. Caesar here playing a master shot, making a curve on the white ball on the black, finds the black, but doesn't pot. While it was an entertaining shot, it is now advantage IBRAH. Two young men only starting their mid-20hood, but very talented and very joyous to watch. Very supportive management teams around the both of them, and also very supportive families, by the way. At the last ATA competition that Caesar won, a very special guest. His mother was at the venue watching. She was watching the game, but seemingly not bothering so much. Maybe she was so confident in her son, maybe she didn't understand the sport so much as I would have fancied. But the fact that a parent can come in to support a child in a sport is so encouraging. Caesar 16, IBRAH 11. In the meantime, some of the graphics that come across your screen as you are watching, like the one you've just witnessed, is the Scorpion Chalk, which the ATA will be informing you about. But for those of you who are lovers of these players, most especially those of you who support Caesar in particular, will need to support his hustle by buying his chalk. Good enough for players, competitive players, as well as casual players, and as well as fans. And for as low as in Zimbabwe we call it $4, $3 for $4, for 5 pieces of chalk. You will get at all those prices, as well as chalks of about $2 to $3. But you'll also get chalks of about 5 pieces of chalk for $1, all branded in the names of the scorpion. It will be called the Scorpion Chalk. More of that will be given to you in terms of information by the Advanced Talent Agency, especially towards the end of this year. And how about that for a revolution of the sport financially, but in a good way, with cheap commodities and services for the fans towards their favorite players, for the benefit of such players. "27 games played, and the third quarter of the match is so far flowing, fastest of them all. It gets to a time when both players decide now to go for it. They have had enough of it. They have had enough of waiting games and patient games, and just decide to go for the game. And this is one of them in IBRAH, needing not to miss this penultimate shot of the frame. And there we go. Goes he's about his business, about himself minding his own business, which is the right thing to do. Fight for your game that comes your way. Don't mind about the games that your opponent has, because he's already in the lead. Fight for each game as it comes. Try to lessen the gap, narrow the deficit. When your chance comes, try and utilize it. The more games you win, the more pressure you put upon your opponent. And before you know it, you are within your opponent. That is the billiards chalk of champion, the Scorpion chalk, being launched by the Advanced Talent Agency by the end of this year. In the meantime, it is IBRAH 12 and CEASER 16. It is the 6th time that the white ball is potted on the break. That, in my opinion, is the biggest disappointment of this match so far. Like I said before, a long rest to 21 tests all of your qualities as a player. How good you can break, how good you can play under pressure, how good you can clear, how good you can exploit mistakes, but also how good you can play against a crowd. How good you can sustain pressure of the fans, pressure of your opponent, pressure of your management team, the pressure of the burden of expectation, as well as the pressure of the occasion, and of course, the pressure of money at stake. There go the statistics, the scores. The green and red apples. Foul breaks, that's the most disappointing statistic on my side. The dry breaks are 6, shared equally as much as the foul breaks, but the foul break session is a little bit disappointing. 1 foul break is enough for the match when you are a player of this level in the whole race. Just 3 reds to go. under normal circumstances, maybe on a training routine session, IBRAH will finish this red game 19 times out of 20. It's only that this is not a training session. You have to do things under pressure. And yet deliver as if there is no pressure at all, as if you're pretending that there is no pressure at all. There we go. He's coming closer again. His fans are beginning to rejuvenate him at the venue, IBRAH. They are beginning to believe. They are starting to silence Caesar's fans in a way. IBRAH SSEJEMBA 13 and Caesar CHANDIGA 16. That makes it 29 games played so far, which makes it the last game of the third quarter of this match. You are watching frame number 30 of 41 from two of the best players that the country of Uganda has to offer, and in my opinion, two of the best players that the continent of Africa has to offer today and last year and the other year. In which Caesar CHANDIGA, the guy that is donning the ATA shirt, the guy on table, the guy having a 3-game lead, the guy that took the lead in the first quarter and has since not given it away, as if intentionally trying to kill IBRAH slowly, as slow as the movement of that white ball. He is on a mission to win $2,000 from a work done in 4 hours, from being the first player to 21 compared to his opponent in the ATA revolution of the game, the match that is being charged for online viewership in a very cheap but a very crucial way, especially for the players. And thank you, Africa, for the response, for the fact that this one is the start of this big thing that is coming for African pool. I have to say it is very impressive. What is not very impressive is the resting position of the white ball of Caesar as he tried to find the black. He is seemingly in trouble. Unless he finds a way to put, oh my God, oh my God. It is something this that Caesar has nowadays made us accustomed to. That is the reaction of the crowd. That is largely Caesar fans. After Caesar impresses like he normally does. That is stuff for dreams. That is a big IBRAH fan. He is called Mickey D. He doesn't believe his eyes. Not the first time, neither is it the second. Many times that Caesar is in trouble. He recovers from the trouble by impressing the most, producing magic when he needs magic. IBRAH 13, Caesar 17. Those are 50,000 shilling notes, the equivalent of about $17 per note that Caesar is receiving from the fans from that one shot. We are having most probably the last timeout of the match. Once again, Ibrahim SSEJEMBA 13 and CEASER CHANDIGA 17. We are back for this one, ladies and gentlemen. IBRAH taking more time, having a rest, refreshing and speaking to his management. Actually, he was 1 minute away from losing one game by walkover countdown, because when the 5 minutes were elapsed, there was started a 5-minute walkover countdown by umpire Henry Joko before IBRAH came to the table with 1 minute over the 5 to go. Had he come 60 minutes later, it would have been 13-18 in CEASER's favor by the time the frame would have started. And for those of you who are just joining right now, it is the start of the last quarter, the fourth quarter out of 4. The last 10 games, most likely, maybe, in this first session of the trilogy, as it has been dubbed. 3 money matches, each of them racing to 21 between Ibrahim SSEJEMBA and CEASER CHANDIGA. The first one and the second are happening today and tomorrow at the same venue, Climax Bar in Kampala, with a special facilitation of allowing fans support these players financially by paying to watch them entertain. And while for CEASER or IBRAH or whoever of the two guys loses tonight's race, there will be money to benefit, yes, from the gate collections at the venue, but also online charges, which will have a deduction of the production costs of their costs of production, and after then, the monies shall be shared equally between Team IBRAH and the Team CEASER. And isn't that what you wish for these players? The first session today has been a success. Please make tomorrow's a success as well, and Saturday's a success by doing exactly what you've done today and encouraging those who have not to do so, and helping out your friends, some of whom were not able to catch this action, and yet they may have subscribed simply because they do not know exactly how this application works. Please help them out if you are near them, such that they do not miss out tomorrow's action. 30 games already played. From my watch, it is 11:30 p.m. East African time, 10:30 p.m. Southern African time. When you have to factor in that we have had about 20 minutes of timeout, then we started about 10 minutes late. This match has gone on for just about 3 hours. And I want to think that in less than 4 hours, we shall be done and dusted. We shall have a winner. We shall have a $2,000 richer player in between IBRAH and CEASER. The last time I saw CEASER surrendering a 4-game cushion in a long race, a money match of this magnitude, maybe an even bigger magnitude between himself and Aiden Joseph with $4,000 at stake. No, that one he didn't surrender. Oops. IBRAH, when he decides to entertain, he can also entertain quite sweetly. I was just telling you the last time I did see CEASER surrendering a 4-game cushion was him against Aiden Joseph in Kampala here at Tickles and Giggles around April last year, more than 1 year ago. He went 20-17 up and then lost the match 21-20. He actually gave out an even bigger lead, I'm getting to remember, between himself and Timothy Onida, the guy called Sakala, in Bulawayo, Zimbabwe. Last year he led 11-3, a match that he lost 16-15. For now, he is pulling one back surely. From the time break, it is seeming as though they talk to himself. I want to think from his manager. I want to think that Zach Idiro did call him from the countryside in northern Uganda, where he is now doing his managerial work with the Bank of Africa in Uganda. He probably gave IBRAH a 5-minute talk, which seems to have paid off, because from the time break, it is IBRAH who was foul break IBRAH. Foul break IBRAH. Kati CEASER bwagimaliramu awo ng'omwongerako red apple. Okitegedde? Seven times in between CEASER and IBRAH that there has been a foul on the break in only one match. It is an area that seriously needs to be worked on. When you get a chance to watch the top professional handball players, fouling on the break is almost impossible. They have that one break, that one strict break that all perfect. They have a very good split of the balls, drawing the white ball backwards off the cushion, such that when they pot, they stand a good chance of a clearance. It is one more foul break that has come from IBRAH. That's why it is 4 for foul breaks to 3. As you can see the statistics, the lower third, 17-13. A few green apples, more red apples. Foul breaks and dry breaks are dominating the statistics as compared to green and red apples. While these players are really entertaining, I think that they could have done better today. Maybe it will get better tomorrow. Now here comes the Scorpion. Becoming increasingly likely to win as long as he starts to pull one more back, because he is only 4 games away from the magic number 21. That white ball was pretty much accurate, because a roll of the ball gives him obvious white for the next yellow. He didn't play it with strength enough. That was a little bit complacent, maybe careless. Nonetheless, he gets to have a sharp cut on the yellow, dragging the white ball a little off the cushion, making it not move so far away from the black. A shot like this one the best bargain would be the center pocket on the right. But he could also go for the corner. Seems to be aiming for center. And yes, gets the center. CEASER 18, IBRAH 14. A total of 9 games left.
Theology is brought to you by Advanced Talent.
The moral support that you have created Africa for watching this match successfully live for a pay. It is the first successful story of watching paid matches for pool. And I will continue to retaliate that the disappointing part of today's match have been the breaks. The statistic that dominates the statistics section is both the dry breaks and the foul breaks. They are outnumbering apples, especially the green ones. The red ones have been some fairly good number. The green ones not so much. And here is the seeming dry break. The fans have refused to move. Climax Bar in Kampala, I will officially say, is full to capacity. The last time it was this full was when either of these two players did have money matches with Jeremiah Green, Naido, Ganda. And on those matches at Climax, it is IBRAH who won. The following day, CEASER was beaten. And yet he did win the rematch about 3 days later. For now, it is the first of the trilogy. It is there for the taking of each of these players, but CEASER in a pretty big advantage because of the 4-game cushion he is having on IBRAH. And for whoever loses this race, it will hurt. But the good news is that there will be opportunity for redemption tomorrow. Same time, same stake, same race, same venue, same viewing criteria. IBRAH versus CEASER tomorrow in a rematch of the trilogy here at Climax Bar in Machindi. All action live, courtesy of the Advanced Talent Agency. That is the face of someone who is trying to fight like a cat which has its claws shaped to scrub upwards and not downwards. A little bit out of sorts. You can just ponder what is going on in his mind, most especially looking at one of his balls, the red ball that is in between, that is surrounded by a series of scissors yellows near that corner pocket. There we go, he's looking for white ball for the one and only bad red ball I'm talking about. And I think he gets it. And for some of his performances of the day, some of the shots he has been taking, especially from the fans, he has been receiving little credit than he does deserve. And I'm not saying that we have seen the best of IBRAH, but sometime he has been brilliant equally. And that is one of them. That was pinpoint accuracy from the magician. There we go. Straight focus, shoot, on target, and wins. IBRAH 15 and CEASER 18. The break has been, the shot has haunted both of these players in this match so far. Lots of dry breaks, lots of foul breaks. This one is one of the best breaks that IBRAH will be getting in this match. And with Uganda's National Open champion 2018 in the background female category, Rita. A number of fans having their hands on their heads. A sign that they are supporting the player who is trading the player who is on the table right now. IBRAH on an open table but nominates the yellows. I'm not so sure it was the right choice. Nonetheless, he makes the choice and goes for it and closes the table and is playing yellows. As the umpire of the day, Henry Joko, watches on, being assisted by Farida Hadija Nachiride. The beautiful ring fencing of the playing area. No fan has access to anywhere close to the pool table. The enclosure is only for the players and the official. And the initiative is from the Advanced Talent Agency. And yet, this is where it was always suspicious, IBRAH's choice of colors. It was always clear. There was a clear distinction between the yellows and the reds. The reds were not only positioned better, they were fewer because two of them were potted on the break. And it would be a very cheeky way to lose a frame if IBRAH loses this frame to what is a seeming clearance for CEASER, which could be 19th out of the 21 that he needs for the victory. And the white ball moves around as though he's moving it by hand. He could start with either of the balls, either of the reds. There we are. Just rolls it. Plays the white ball to try and put both reds to the same pocket. It was actually the right decision. Had he wanted to maintain the white ball to the, not to go beyond giving him white ball for good red on the center pocket, it was always risky. Him potting and maintaining the white ball. Now he's finding himself on the black, and unexpected situation, especially after IBRAH's break. A very good break that did see him put two balls on the break and splitting the reds so well. And IBRAH went for yellows and failed to finish the game. A failure which granted CEASER a chance to play. Playing the reds which were so well positioned and finished them so well, putting himself now within 2 games of the victory. Ibrahim SSEJEMBA 15 and CEASER CHANDIGA 19. I would love it if I were the guy collecting money for Caesar. Well knowing that he will get some money in other ways tonight, especially online. I will tell him that I may not be available to fund him. It is another dry break from Caesar, yet to be updated on those statistics, so it will shortly be 5 dry breaks from Caesar and about 4 foul breaks. The break has been the worst executed shot in the race today. Or will I say tonight? It is starting to look worrying for IBRAH and very worrying. It is promising for Caesar and very promising. That the magic number of 21 for the Scorpion is now 2 games away, and yet another seems to be already in the bag. A face of a guy that has money on his mind, has victory on his mind. Representing himself, his management team, his fan base team, Team the Scorpion. And there he goes. This time he fouls. No, not really. Not really. I was quite wrong on my speculation. From my viewing area, it seemed as though the white ball was moving right into the pocket. But it will work for Caesar. And just makes a little stand shot. And will aim the black to get to 20 for as long as he puts. Every time he gets ever close to the money, he becomes even more serious and even more dangerous, as if smelling blood. And just like that, always delivering when up against the black. This is now the maths. It is very easy to explain, but very difficult to ascertain and implement. The match has a total number of 6 games left. IBRAH needs to win them all or else succumb to second place and hopefully wait for tomorrow to try and revenge. IBRAH 20 and Caesar 21. And now it is one of those moments when a miss of a ball on the break is celebrated by the fans of the rival player as if it is the pot of a black itself. But they would be right, because if Caesar makes this clearance, he would pot the black, which would have secured him the 21st frame, which would have confirmed him victory in the first session of the trilogy between him and IBRAH. The table is closed, and Caesar is smelling blood. He unfortunately plays one of his balls dead. So much in close contact with one of IBRAH's reds, and his facial expression is the guy that has of a guy that has his mind entirely on only one ball, contemplating how he will open it, contemplating on how he will win, despite the fact that one of his red balls is dead. And there is the little series of shots. I'm not so sure that he has sight of any of the balls enough to pot it. I'm not so sure. He will have to produce some magic here to pot a ball, in my opinion. He has already produced magic. I think he has generally been the better player. I am not meaning that he has already won, but he is in pole position to win at least one of 6 games. And IBRAH must be knowing it in his mind that he could win, but very unlikely. His best chance is to try and avenge what could be a defeat later tomorrow. Same time, same venue, same stake, same viewing conditions, same everything. IBRAH versus Caesar tomorrow, climax by Machinde at 7 p.m. Session number 2. Then session number 3 will come this Saturday at Addis Sport, also in Kampala. The snookered Caesar finds his red, his yellow. It is now half a set of yellow balls, all of them in space, and a number of red balls. One of them is in bad position. The red ball closest to the white ball near that cushion. It is the one on which IBRAH has his mind set. All he can do is try and win the game that is in front of him. Unfortunately, IBRAH fouls in a shot that creates a big worry of the fear of the unknown at Roxbury, where he is managed as a top player. The town of Bukoto, where he was born and bred. From his fans, the team money made, it is all worrying. But again, it is a sigh of expectation and relief in Gulu and Lira and Arua, where Caesar is born, raised, and nurtured respectively as a player and as a person, where they have learned to hail him as a regional hero. And with each and every shot he now plays, there is a seeming likelihood of him getting the victory. But again, he has played himself in a little bit of trouble. Very critical shot, this one. Yes, he pots. Has a big spin on the white ball. Little but detailed shot. Like a mini skirt. Little but detailed. Caesar will need a big cut of his last yellow to the corner pocket. I don't know about the final resting position of the white ball, But if he sinks this ball in, and if he somehow controls his white ball, he will be home and dry. And does exactly that. A beautiful shot. Is likely to be the penultimate shot of the race. As long as he puts the black CEASER Chandiga, the Scorpion, ladies and gentlemen, is the official winner of the first session of the trilogy between himself and IBRAH. $2,000 richer tonight. Also richer in terms of online viewership, subscription, and payment. Final score. CEASER versus IBRAH. Racing to 21 for $2,000 tonight has been Ibrahim SSEJEMBA 15 and CEASER Chandiga 21.